Hey, so this is a video just for me, myself. It's about self-hatred. Um, I've always struggled with it. I don't know why. Um, I really don't. But I'd say for like the past 15, no, probably longer than 15 years, probably close to 20 years, I have really wrestled with self-loathing and the inability to accept who I am as a person. I don't know why. It's not like I do things that I dislike. I feel like I treat people pretty well. I don't do things that I'm like morally against. I'm not entirely sure where it comes from. I've had friends, I've had family, I've had coworkers, partners, and they have loved me in their own unique ways, but I haven't found the way to love myself. So this week's tough because I've been off work. I'm injured. Just for the record, I'm not supposed to use my hands or arms, so I have not been doing that. I've not been using my hands nor arms. I'm not driving, but I'm also, minimally doing chores and minimally going out. And so I've had a lot of time to just kind of sit and stew. But honestly, maybe it's more of a curdle than a stew right now, because it's not easy to be alone with my own thoughts because of the self-loathing. So my mental state over the past week has not been great. And I don't really know what to do. I think the biggest reason why I really don't like myself is the ADHD. I feel kind of like a foreign entity in my own body. Part of why I started making these videos was that I wanted to practice speaking. I know for some people, speaking feels like supernatural. It's easy. It's literally your own body. It's like snapping your fingers or something, right? But for me, literally speaking is challenging. I don't know how to describe it other than that. The words do not feel natural, even though this is my native tongue. Trying to think of something to say is challenging. And so I spend a lot of time focusing on that, but I get distracted by this kind of alien feeling of forming words with my mouth. And so I'm not as good of a conversationalist as I would like to be. Where am I going with this? So back to the ADHD, I feel like this is probably the root cause of that alien feeling. And it's frustrating because I love to chat with people. I really do. I like to yap. I like to hear about how their day is going. I like to know about people. But it's hard to do that when half my brain is dedicated to listening because my hearing is not good. The other half is figuring out how to get my tongue and mouth lined up to say words, and then the last fraction is just supposed to think about what to say and what they're saying. It feels like a very small fraction, and it's frustrating because I'd love to be able to dedicate more to listening, to remembering, to hearing, to making funny jokes and stuff. I'd love to be able to do that. And the reason why I blame my ADHD, and the reason why I'd love to be able to dedicate more of my brain towards, having a conversation rather than just focusing on my basic senses, is that I have in the past been able to do so when I was on my ADHD medication. Words felt so natural. Oh my god, everything was effortless. And I felt like, this is gonna sound crazy, I felt like a real human being. Most days I go by and I feel like a half-baked egg, just like a runny yolk and all, kind of, some of the whites are still runny as well, and some people like that, but I like my eggs, well, okay, runny yolk, yes, for fried eggs, but, runny whites, absolutely not. And so I've tasted a reality where I can fly through the skies of social interaction, and it is phenomenal. Since my medical incident in China back in April, I've really been struggling to speak. Yesterday I went out with my family, and I reckon I spoke maybe like 50 words over the course of 4 hours. I just kind of find a place to really butt in. By the time I'd finish processing and lining up my mouth, conversation would be going on, and despite the fact that I'm thinking about this stuff and I'm struggling with that, I do have a good sense of I can butt in with this versus like, oh yeah, the moment's passed. It's pretty wretched. So part of me is wondering, do I go back on the medication? It's tough because it comes with side effects. Really affects my sleep, like tremendously so, to the point where I'll be sleeping 5 hours, 6 hours a night if I'm lucky. But it's good for work as well, and I'm going into a master's degree. The bigger thing is that it really cuts my libido, and right now I want to find a partner. And so once I start taking the medication, I won't want to find a partner. It'll just be a cognitive decision to like, hey, you have a goal of starting a family, you should probably start looking, versus like caveman, like ooh, pretty lady, wow. Yeah, I don't feel any sort of attraction when I'm on it, and that really sucks. Like, forget the sex, like just attraction, right? Right now, I don't really see a way forward. And I'm really worried. Like, what do I choose? Do I choose... Like, what do I choose? I really don't know. I know that I would benefit from the medication, which is horrible because of what it does to my body. Like I don't eat, I don't sleep. It's almost like a machine, and I'm on the minimum dose of the only drug that seems to work for me. But I feel like things can't continue the way they are. That's the problem. Here I am, like what have I accomplished? I've done nothing with my life. I don't like to compare, but I can't help it. I'm surrounded by successful people who are moving on with their lives, and I feel like I'm getting left behind. And that's a horrible feeling. And I know I'm going into a master's degree, but these people are done their PhDs. They're done their schooling. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or, they have a family that's starting. And here I am, having accomplished nothing in 28 years. I haven't built anything. I haven't have a relationship. I don't have a career. You know, I don't know. Part of me wonders, like, am I trying? I'm sure they're trying much harder than I am. I know they are. But am I trying and just not able to perform because of my condition? Or am I not performing because I'm lazy? Or something like that. I don't know. I just wish that I could be rid of this feeling that something's wrong with me, because I've always carried that around with me. There was a number of years where I was convinced that I had some sort of like undiagnosed autism or something, because of just how much I seem to struggle with things that people just do effortlessly. And you know, like, one other constant is people have always called me smart, but I sure as hell don't feel smart. I feel like a total dumbass. Always have. You know, I was put in the gifted program in elementary school. Complete dumbass in there. No idea how I pulled that off. In high school, you know, my teachers would, you know, heap praise on me, and then I get like a C, or not a C, but like I get a B, right? And even to this day, you know, professionally, people are like, wow, you could be a great marine biologist, is what my first prof who took me under my wing said. And I have no idea how I impress that on her. I really don't. And, you know, my friends and family tell me, like, John, you're so smart. I'm like, no, I'm not. I've seen smart. Goes by the name of Elizabeth. Seriously, she's brilliant. I'm just some guy, you know, who can hardly form words with his mouth. How can I be smart? Anyways, I don't know what to do in terms of the medication. That's really what this video is about. Because I hate myself. But I know that I could do something that makes me not hate myself. It comes at such a cost. They say that the worst addiction is to the substance that makes you feel like a normal person. I read that line. It's just a throwaway line on Reddit like 8 years ago. It was just under some random comment on something about the downtown east side in Vancouver. And I read it and went, huh. And for some reason it stuck, because I feel like a normal person when I take my medication. Except I don't live like a normal person. Like, feeling, yes. Living, no. Like, I was eating probably 1,200 calories a day, sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night, no attraction whatsoever to anyone. Like, it was insane. Like, I'd wake up and I'd just be fully online. Like, no need for coffee, or like no like sleepy getting out of bed. It'd just be like my eyes would slam open. It's like, okay, here we are, right, ready to work. But it's like, right now I'm healthy. I eat well, I sleep well, I exercise, I feel attraction towards people, and that's great. Mentally, I'm a disaster. Like, I can hardly speak, it feels some days. You know, I'm forgetful. That might be medically induced. But I just feel like I'm not all there mentally. That's the biggest problem. I feel like part of my brain is, you know, just off orbiting the planet or something. That doesn't make any sense, but it's like I'm a space cadet, right? I've always been. I'm not all here. I'm talking with someone, I'm interested in them, but I'm not all here. That's a feeling I get pretty constantly. The brain is busy trying to figure out what to say rather than being in the moment. And so I don't enjoy it as much as I would have. But then on the other hand, like, mentally I'd be fine. Great even. Some of the best mental times have been on my medication, but then physically, like I lost 40 pounds, 35 pounds in about 12 months. I didn't have 35 pounds to lose. I had maybe 10. Yeah, and I developed tinnitus from lack of sleep. Yeah, absolutely no will to date anyone, and I'm cognizant of the fact that like I've got a bit of a timeline here. Like, I want kids. I want to have a family, and I'm in my late 20s. I want to find someone so that I'm not having a kid when I'm 40. I've family who's done that. Not a great move. So I don't know what to do, but I really just want to stop hating myself. I don't know what that's gonna take. I've gone to therapy before. It helped a little bit, but I've never been able to shake this really. That was more about dealing with other stuff, whereas this is about dealing with who I am. And I probably know the reason, right? Like I used to like get insulted every day of my life. Horrible things too, like I wish you were never born. Like you have an ugly smile. Your laugh is weird. You're awkward. You're no fun to be around. Everyone hates you. Shit like that every day. And like some people have it way worse. They get beaten every day. I didn't get beaten every day. But I think this took its toll in its own manner. So yeah, that's the video. I don't know what to do. I don't know what it's gonna take. I have no idea if let me see if I'm up here. Yeah, okay, the audio is working. Well, that's good. Is it better if I aim at the mic? How about if I aim at the ceiling? How about if I aim over here? Okay, I mean it's all about the same. That's good to know. I guess that's that. Well, like I mentioned, this video is for me, so hopefully in a year's time I'll come back and look at it and be like, aha, I figured that out. That'd be real nice. Alright. Until next time. Peace.